Welcome to day 6, quotient rule. We've done chain rule when we had a function inside of a function. We did product rule when we have a function multiplying another function. Now we're going to do quotient rule when it's a function divided by another function, such as this. H is equal to the function f divided by the function g, or what I call a high function divided by a low function. The high function is the function in the numerator, and the low function is a function in the denominator. So we're going to set up a rule, and I have it here to the side, but the way I set it up is that I have a high function. I take its derivative, I call it d high for the derivative. I have a low function, I take its derivative, I call it d low. And when I do my crisscross, I have to do this way first. The lower left to the upper right must be first, and then I set it up this way, and you see, if you look at it, it's the denominator times the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. They're all divided by the denominator squared, or what we call low derivative of high minus high derivative of the low over the low squared. As an example, sine of x, its derivative is cosine of x. X squared, its derivative is 2x. I've set that up. I'm going to do this crisscross first. Notice we have subtraction in the middle this time, not addition. Product rule has a plus. Quotient rule is subtraction. And when I set this up, I do this way first, and I get x squared cosine x minus, I do the other crisscross next, 2x sine of x all over the denominator of the low function squared. So I call x squared squared. And if you notice, it cleans up. I get this result over here. And technically, if I wanted to, I could cancel out one x everywhere. So if I wanted to, I could rewrite it as h prime of x is equal to x cosine of x minus 2 sine of x over x to the third. But really, I'm just looking for this. I'll take this for now. We'll talk about cleaning up your algebra later. And that's cleaning up your algebra. Another example. Well, what I should do, here's my high function of 3x minus 9, parentheses. Not seeing enough parentheses. Its derivative is 3. My low function is 5x minus 2. That derivative is 5. When I do this, I have to do the bottom left, upper right crisscross first. So y prime is equal to 3 parentheses 5x minus 2 minus the other way, 5 times 3x minus 9 all over whatever the denominator says squared. I'm going to distribute a little bit. I get y prime is equal to 15x minus 6 minus 15x plus 45 all over 5x minus 2 squared. And when I get done with all this, I clean it all up. I see these cancel out. It's 39 over 5x minus 2 quantity squared. So I've already started to set it up. Here are my functions. E to the x is e to the x. Sine of x is cosine of x. And when I do a crisscross, I have to do this way first. m prime of x is equal to e to the x sine of x minus the other way, e to the x cosine of x all over the denominator squared. And I could rewrite it without those parentheses and do e to the x sine of x minus e to the x cosine of x over sine squared of x. That's it. Not much more I can do with that. So how can I use quotient rule to figure out what is the derivative of tangent of x? If you recall, tangent of x is just sine of x over cosine of x from trigonometry. So I have sine of x, its derivative is cosine of x. Cosine of x, its derivative is negative sine of x. And I do my crisscross this way first. Y prime is equal to cosine times cosine is cosine squared of x minus, I do this way second. I see another minus sign, so it's going to be plus sine squared of x over the denominator squared. If I pay attention, in trig class, this is always equal to 1, and this is cosine squared of x, but 1 over cosine is secant, so 1 over cosine squared is secant squared of x. So we just learned a new derivative that says the derivative with respect to the variable x of tangent of x is equal to the secant squared of x. That is something nice to know. So I start off with the next problem. My numerator and my denominator functions, their derivatives are this. Let's do this way first. P prime of x equals 8x cosine of x minus, now I have to do this way second. I see another negative sign, so it's going to be plus 4x squared sine of x all over the denominator squared. And that's really about it. There's no cleanup with this. Okay, that's quotient rule. It's a little bit different than product rule because there's going to be more to it than just a crisscross. We still have a denominator that's going to be squared. Okay, ask questions, do the daily assessment. Thank you.